Okay, so what was the crowning blow that said, okay, you're coming to Heartlight?
Fentanyl.
Really?
Yeah, I was snorting fentanyl every day. Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, I got...
So how old were you then?
16.
Aiden, thanks for coming in and sitting down. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Are you a real Texan at heart?
Yeah.
Born in Texas?
Born in Texas.
Born and bred. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay, so how did you end up at Heartlight?
I came to Heartlight because of a long history of drug use,
Wow.
drug addiction.
And when did that start?
8th grade.
So what happened in 8th grade? Do you remember the first time you tried anything?
I do. It was Xanax, and at school, it was Xanax at school.
Some friend gives it to you and says, "Here, give this a shot and see."
I bought it from a kid that I was in class with.
Yeah.
And
So
at school.
beforehand, were things kind of spinning out of control in 6th, 7th grade? Were you going through things and at that time in your life, and then the opportunity just happened in the 8th grade to do something different?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting into a lot of trouble. Most of the
Trouble
pretty much
like
starting food fights, like stuff like that. Just like dumb little things like that. But when I started going down the drug path,
Wow.
it kind of just got worse.
Okay, so in 8th grade, you take this Xanax and you go. What'd you think?
I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. Kind of just kept doing it. I mean, I don't remember much.
Really? And
Yeah.
it would just take you. And so, but there was some reason why you kept doing it, though.
Yeah. There were past things that I've been through that kind of kept it going. Like the first time, it was like okay, and then like I noticed like it was a bad coping skill.
Wow.
Well, I didn't notice it was a bad coping, but I used it as.
But that's what it was becoming. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So what you say, bad things in the past, like
like my biological father leaving me,
Wow.
type stuff when I was a baby, him being absent in my life.
Have any
stuff like
contact
that.
with him now?
Yeah, I do.
How is that going?
We have a pretty good relationship. I haven't talked to him since I've been here, but
Yeah.
apparently he's not doing so well. But
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you look back at how that affected you, how did it affect you?
pretty badly because I felt like I wasn't able to be loved type deal. Like I felt like it wasn't possible because it didn't seem like he loved me. And
So did your mom remarry?
she did, yes.
And so the stepdad that comes in, how'd you get along with him?
We get along fine. He's been here my whole life, so he's pretty much dad.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's interesting, that's still kind of an aching thing in the back of your head saying, I'm not loved.
Yeah. It was always a thought.
So when you look back, the drugs became really a pretty neat way to self-medicate and get rid of some of the problems and stuff. Okay, so where did that go? How long did that last until somebody said, okay, we got to do something different about this?
See, I overdosed on Xanax in 8th grade as well at school and got sent to the hospital. My parents were in Las Vegas. I got sent to Outward Bound. It's kind of like a wilderness type thing in 8th grade. That's kind of when it started saying like, well, that's when they found out, I guess, that I started using drugs.
So you came back home after Outward Bound. How'd it go after that?
I still use drugs. I mean...
So it worked while you were away from it, but it was a good coping mechanism coming back.
Yeah.
So did the Outward Bound thing cover things up or just get you away from the pressure? Or take your mind off of the thoughts you were having about not being loved? And
I don't think I wanted it to help me in any type of way, so I didn't really get the full effect of it.
Yeah.
I kind of just told myself, okay, I'm going to be here for 30 days or whatever, and I'm going to go back and get
do
high.
the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really didn't do anything for me.
Okay, so what was the crowning blow that said, okay, you're coming to Heartlight?
Fentanyl.
Really?
Yeah, I was snorting fentanyl every day. Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, I got...
So how old were you then?
16. I'm 16 now.
So sophomore in high school?
Junior.
A junior in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, I was snorting fentanyl for quite a while, and I got sent to a hospital because I forget if it was kidneys or liver, one of the two. I don't know. I couldn't use the restroom for like 5 days. And
the kidneys started shutting down.
Yeah, kidneys, I guess.
Wow.
And they had drug tested me while I was there, and they came back in the room and told my dad, like, fentanyl, and he was like, oh, okay. Like,
wow.
Yeah, so.
And so that's when they said, okay, we got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the hardest part of, I mean, you're snorting fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't quit all of a sudden and be happy.
No.
I mean, so what's the process of you kind of walking away from that? What are you feeling during that time?
Well, my parents told me a month in advance that I was going to Heartlight, that I was coming here. And, I mean, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have anything. I got sober, went through some withdrawals. Well, sober, I still drank. Because there was alcohol available in the house.
Yeah.
And a month later, I'm here.
Is there still a longing for that?
For drugs?
Yeah.
Not hard drugs, not anymore. I've come to the conclusion, like, they're terrible for me because I've had friends die, almost die. Like 2 months before I came here, my best friend overdosed on fentanyl.
Wow.
And got sent to the hospital, and he died in the ambulance for like a whole minute.
Wow.
But they brought him back or whatever.
Wow.
And I mean, I just saw what it was doing to me, my family, my friends, like, because my family was obviously stressed out. I mean, I was doing all these drugs, partying and whatnot. So me being from an outside perspective, instead of, in the moment, I see like how it affected people.
But you see kind of what you're doing. Do you feel like you're resolving some of those issues?
Like
that kind of pushed you that way in the first place?
Yeah. In counseling.
So counseling's been good for you?
Mm-hmm. Very good. Opened
up some new thinking patterns and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
So what's been the hardest thing in counseling?
Communication with my parents.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm pretty bad at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's surprising. You sitting here talking to me, I wouldn't think that communication would be tough for you.
I mean, it's just my stepdad. I mean, we have some things like he's not my biological dad, and like, he may think I don't want him. I don't think that he... I don't know, it's confusing, but Dad and my mom, she runs away from a lot of conversations, so we're working through that.
Well, you guys are all understanding kind of the family dynamics of this thing, I'm sure. And well, cool. Where do you think you'd be? Really, if you wouldn't have come here, where do you think you'd be?
I mean, if I kept doing fentanyl, I'd probably overdose at some point.
So glad you came?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, man, for a little story of just somebody from Fort Worth, and we get into what all was going on, and we went from a good Texan all the way to, man, you've kind of gone through it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, so I hope you get to this other side that can be consistent and good for you, and so it doesn't take you down the path that family has gone in beforehand, because you've seen what has happened with all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you're doing well, man.
Thank you.
You're doing well. Thanks for coming in and sharing your story.
Of course.
You bet.